In a desolate industrial wasteland, an abandoned factory stood like a tombstone marking the death of an era. Rusted pipes, shattered windows, and walls smeared with graffiti told the story of a place long forsaken. But beneath the surface, deep within its labyrinthine halls, lurked a darkness far more ancient and malevolent than anyone could imagine. The factory was infamous for its doors, 20 of them, each leading to a different nightmare, each cursed in its own unique way. A group of 5 urban explorers, driven by the thrill of the unknown, decided to enter the factory on a dare. These were no ordinary adventurers. They were hardened by years of exploring the world's most dangerous and decrepit places. Yet, nothing could have prepared them for what awaited inside. As they passed through the main gate, the air turned foul, a rancid smell of rot and chemicals burning their lungs. The ground beneath their feet felt wrong, soft, as if something living pulsed beneath the concrete. The group ventured deeper, flashlights flickering in the oppressive darkness. The first door they found was massive, built of iron and covered in deep gouges, as if something had desperately tried to claw its way out. When they pried it open, they were met with an ear-piercing shriek and a blast of cold air that smelled of sulfur. The room beyond was vast and pitch black, save for the flickering lights of machinery that had long stopped working. As they stepped inside, the door slammed shut behind them, and the machinery roared to life. A conveyor belt began to move, dragging one of them towards a giant press that loomed in the darkness. They tried to pull him back, but the belt was relentless. His screams echoed through the factory as the press descended, crushing him into a pulp of blood and bone. The machinery whirred louder, almost as if it was feeding off the terror and agony, and the walls themselves seemed to close in on the survivors, forcing them to flee further into the factory. They stumbled through another door, this one rusted and adorned with chains. Inside was a long corridor lined with metal hooks dangling from the ceiling, each one swaying as if something invisible moved them. The air was thick with the scent of iron and decay. As they moved, the hooks accelerated, slicing through the air with deadly accuracy. Each found its target, tearing into flesh, peeling skin from bone. Blood sprayed the walls as the hooks violently yanked the screaming victims away. Only 2 remained, drenched in blood, their minds the remaining 2 opened the next door. It led to a narrow, spiral staircase descending into the bowels of the factory. The walls were lined with strange symbols that seemed to pulsate with a life of their own. As they descended, the temperature dropped sharply, and the staircase seemed to stretch on endlessly. Whispers filled the air, growing louder with each step, until they became deafening screams. The walls began to bleed a thick, black ooze, and the stairs themselves seemed to twist and writhe beneath their feet. Finally, they reached the bottom, only to find themselves in a small, windowless room. In the center was a door unlike the others, a simple wooden door, painted white, with a brass knob that gleamed in the darkness. The whispers ceased, replaced by a silence so profound it was suffocating. They had no choice but to open it. On the other side was a mirror-lined room, a hall of reflections that distorted their images into grotesque parodies of themselves. But as they stepped inside, they realized the reflections were not just twisted, they were alive. The mirror versions of themselves grinned with malice, their eyes black voids. Before they could react, the reflections reached through the glass, grabbing them with icy hands. They struggled, but it was